Madonna.
Never had a conversation with her.
Never?
No.
Wow. What about Ariana Grande? Do you know her?
No.
She calls herself the Queen of Divas, but not everyone is bowing down to Mariah Carey. Behind the glitter, the high notes, and the Christmas empire, Mariah has sparked feuds that left some of Hollywood's biggest names fuming. From bitter rivalries to behind-the-scenes clashes, these celebrities didn't just dislike her, they vehemently hated her. Christina Aguilera. Christina Aguilera learned the hard way that taking on the Shade Queen comes with serious consequences. In 2006, Aguilera recounted to GQ an encounter at a party with Mariah Carey that quickly spiraled into awkward territory. "One time we were at a party and I think she got really drunk, and she had just really derogatory things to say to me," Aguilera admitted. She attempted to contextualize the incident, noting that Carey had that breakdown around the same time and might have been very medicated. While Aguilera likely thought she had delivered a subtle diss, the fallout was swift and public. Carey's response was classic Mariah, sharp, measured, and unflinchingly dismissive. Speaking to Access Hollywood, she recalled the party incident with a pointed blend of wit and calm superiority. "I had hoped that Christina was in a better place now than the last time I saw her, when she showed up uninvited at one of my parties and displayed questionable behavior," Carey explained. She acknowledged Aguilera's attempt to drag her name into publicity narratives, adding, "It is sad yet predictable that she would use my name at this time to reinvent past incidents for her promotional gain. It is in my heart to forgive, and I will keep her in my prayers." The remark was not just a rebuttal. It was an undeniable power move, reclaiming the narrative and casting Aguilera's story as both petty and opportunistic. Aguilera eventually seemed to backtrack, though the incident lingered in pop culture memory. The drama flared up again years later. In 2015, a source told the National Enquirer, via celeb Dirty Laundry, that Aguilera took a jab at Carey, alongside other contemporaries like Britney Spears and Jennifer Lopez, criticizing their Las Vegas residencies. "I won a Grammy this year," Aguilera reportedly said. "Why would I go to Vegas and join Britney and Mariah in an oldies act? I don't have to spend 3 nights a week reliving the past." Once again, Aguilera positioned herself as forward-looking and progressive, yet the comparison inevitably reminded fans of the earlier feud, casting her in the shadow of Mariah's seasoned, iconic presence. This exchange highlights a recurring dynamic in celebrity culture. Attempts to shade a peer, especially one as formidable as Mariah Carey, can quickly backfire, leaving the instigator in the crosshairs of public scrutiny. Aguilera may have intended a subtle dig, but Carey's poised and strategic response solidified her as the true master of celebrity shade. The feud, though not explosive in headlines, became a textbook example of how reputation, timing, and media savvy dictate who ultimately wins in high-profile celebrity clashes. Tommy Mottola. Mariah Carey's professional life has long been intertwined with her personal relationships, and few were as infamous as her marriage to Tommy Mottola, the then head of Sony Music. Their divorce in 1998 marked not only the end of a high-profile marriage, but also the beginning of a series of alleged professional sabotages that Carey would quietly endure. One of the most notorious incidents involved Carey's 2001 soundtrack for Glitter and her lead single, Loverboy. Carey had planned to sample the classic disco track Firecracker by Yellow Magic Orchestra for Loverboy, a move that could have bolstered the song's commercial appeal. However, according to reports, Mottola, allegedly seeking to undermine Carey's solo projects, intervened. Carey was forced to scrap the Firecracker sample and substitute Candy by Cameo, a decision that contributed to the single underperforming on the charts. The saga didn't end there. Another track on Glitter, Carey's duet If We with Ja Rule, had been conceived as a slow, intimate, give-and-take vocal collaboration. But soon after, Jennifer Lopez's album J-Lo dropped, featuring the smash hit I'm Real remix, also with Ja Rule, mimicking the very same style Carey had envisioned. To casual observers, this might have seemed coincidental, but insiders, and particularly Irv Gotti, Ja Rule's producer, claimed otherwise. Speaking to XXL via Fox News, Gotti revealed, Ja wrote a song with him and Mariah singing back and forth on the title track. I get a call from Tommy Mottola. He's like, I need you to do me a favor. I want you to do this remix for Jennifer Lopez. I want you to put Ja on the record. Immediately, I knew what he was doing because we just finished the Mariah record. Finished. A Glitter insider added that Mottola had been actively monitoring Carey's recording sessions and film shoots, ensuring he had inside knowledge of her projects. The publisher of Firecracker confirmed the suspicious timing, noting that Carey had called first to license the sample, only for Lopez to make the same request a month later, an unprecedented move that had never happened before. Nicki Minaj, Mariah Carey's highly publicized feud with Nicki Minaj became a media spectacle long before the 12th season of American Idol even hit the airwaves in 2013. Footage from the auditions leaked early, revealing an explosive clash between the two judges that quickly went viral. In one infamous clip, Minaj's patience snapped, and she seethed. I told them I'm not putting up with her fefking highness no more. I'm not going to sit here every fefking minute to have you come down and harass me every minute every day. The confrontation escalated further as Minaj, her voice rising in anger, warned Carey, think this is a effing joke? Say one more fucking disrespectful thing to me. Off with your head. The footage painted a picture of tension and hostility that seemed to consume the show's dynamic from the start. The leaked video even fueled wild rumors that Minaj had threatened Carey with a gun, allegations vehemently denied by both Idol producer Nigel Lithgow and Minaj herself. Despite the denials, the feud dominated headlines for the entirety of the season. Minaj frequently took to Twitter to criticize Carey, labeling her insecure, while Carey subtly shaded Minaj in a high-profile interview with Barbara Walters, keeping the drama in the public eye. Looking back, Carey offered her own perspective in a later interview on the Kyle and Jackie O show via BET. She expressed disappointment in how the producers handled the dynamic. Let's just say, I don't think they had any intentions of us having a good experience through that show. Pitting two females against each other wasn't cool. It should have been about the contestants instead of some non-existent feud that turned into even more ridiculousness. Carey's comments underscored that much of the public drama had been amplified, or even manufactured, by the show's behind-the-scenes manipulation. For her part, Minaj addressed the situation in January 2013 on The Ellen DeGeneres Show, offering a candid explanation for her behavior. It was just two big old divas, I guess. Before I went in there, I heard all the stuff that was being said, but I didn't believe it. I heard them saying Mariah doesn't want you on the panel, but I was like, no, I am friends with Mariah. I went there and I started to feel a bit of the shade, and I just kind of overcompensated by being crazier. It's like a defense mechanism. Your feelings are hurt and you can't believe it, so you kind of just compensate with being crazy. She concluded with a conciliatory note, we're fine. I cannot hold a grudge against Mariah Carey. What people don't understand is that I've looked up to her for so many years. Jennifer Lopez. After all the drama involving Jennifer Lopez and Tommy Mottola, Mariah Carey faced a question that would immediately spark headlines and memes when she appeared on a foreign TV show. How did she feel about Lopez? Carey's response was succinct, careful, and diplomatic. I don't know her. Though simple, the remark was enough to send social media into a frenzy, launching a wave of memes and fan speculation about a supposed feud between the two divas. The timing and brevity of Carey's comment only fueled curiosity, particularly in light of the earlier glitter and firecracker controversies, leaving audiences to wonder whether Lopez was even aware of the behind-the-scenes maneuverings allegedly orchestrated by Mottola. Lopez largely stayed silent on the issue for years, choosing not to engage publicly with the speculation until 2014. On Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, she addressed the alleged tension directly. "I know from back in the day I've read things that she's said about me that were not the greatest, but we have never met. Like we don't know each other. I think it's kind of from word of mouth of things that have happened in the past that I'm not really aware of. I would love to meet her and I would love to be friends with her. I think she's incredibly talented and I've always been a fan of hers. I just love her. It saddens me to hear anything that's negative because I'm a fan of hers," Lopez explained, emphasizing a willingness to extend goodwill despite the swirling rumors. Even after 2014, Lopez occasionally found herself pulled back into Carey-related headlines. In May 2015, she was caught texting during Carey's Billboard Music Awards performance, later telling Cohen on the same show, "It was a long performance. I watched most of it. I may have looked down for 1 second, so not fair." A year later, she appeared on Wendy Williams's show, suggesting Carey might simply be forgetful, further lightening the narrative surrounding their alleged tension. Carey, for her part, continued to clarify her stance. During a Watch What Happens Live segment a few months after Lopez's comment, when Cohen asked if she knew Lopez, Carey replied thoughtfully, "I've spoken to you at least 3 times, right? I mean, we've had many conversations together. Do you think I know your every waking thought? If somebody asked me, we've met, we've spoken, we've had conversations, we've talked. I know you." Her answer reflected a measured perspective, underscoring that the supposed feud was largely exaggerated by media coverage, and that in reality, interactions between the two stars were limited, civil, and occasionally misinterpreted. Eminem. The rumored tension between Mariah Carey and Eminem dates back to the early 2000s and has played out publicly in a series of escalating digs, denials, and diss tracks. Allegedly, Carey rejected Eminem, or, depending on whom you ask, simply denied ever dating him, sparking a feud that would flare repeatedly over the next decade. Eminem began fairly diplomatically in 2002, telling Rolling Stone, "I just don't like her as a person." But that initial jab would barely foreshadow the storm to come. Carey responded creatively during her 2003 tour, staging a puppet marionette in Eminem's likeness, sending a pointed visual message to the rapper. Eminem, reportedly infuriated, escalated matters in 2005 by playing voicemails he claimed were from Carey during his own tour performances, turning private communications into public ammunition. The feud gained more heat in 2006 when Eminem appeared on Shade 45, asserting that he and Carey had dated for 6 or 7 months, and expressing frustration over her repeated denials. This was followed by a series of scathing musical attacks. His 2006 track, Jimmy Crack Corn, and 2009's Bagpipes from Baghdad both included vulgar and disparaging references to Carey, cementing the very public nature of their conflict. Carey, never one to remain silent, struck back in 2009 with her music video for Obsessed, widely interpreted as a direct response to Eminem's insinuations and insults. The rapper countered again in 2010 with The Warning, an explicit track that further fanned the flames. Each volley highlighted both artists' willingness to use their platforms to publicly air personal grievances, blurring the line between celebrity drama and musical rivalry. Despite years of back and forth, Carey appeared to emerge with the upper hand in the court of public perception. In 2014, when Watch What Happens Live host Andy Cohen asked her to say something nice about Eminem, Carey's calm and diplomatic response spoke volumes. Her measured composure contrasted sharply with the intensity of Eminem's repeated attacks, suggesting that she had largely moved past the drama while still retaining the wit and confidence that had defined her career. Miley Cyrus. In October 2016, Miley Cyrus didn't hold back when she took a subtle dig at Mariah Carey during an interview with Elle. Known for her outspoken and often irreverent opinions, Cyrus made it clear she had never really been a fan of Carey's, suggesting that the legendary singer's persona was more about spectacle than substance. "I've never really been a fan because it's so much about Mariah Carey," she said. "That's part of her shtick. I can see through that. That's part of what makes her a gay icon, like, it's about Mimi. It's about what she's wearing, and it's about her. What I make isn't about me. It's about sharing my story. It's about someone being connected to what I'm saying." Cyrus drew a pointed distinction between her own approach to fame and Carey's highly curated image. While Carey has built a brand around glamour, high fashion, and high-profile collaborations, Cyrus emphasized authenticity and relatability in her work. "That's why you don't see me, like, on the sides of buses selling ST," she continued. "I mean, what am I going to do? Sell makeup? Mostly I tell people don't wear makeup. I don't really wear makeup for the contestants because some of these girls come from effing Arkansas with cake face on. Like, I don't want these kids to come out here and wear a bunch of makeup." Observers quickly connected her remarks to Carey's high-profile partnership with MAC Cosmetics, which had launched a festive and widely successful holiday collection, further highlighting the contrast between the two stars' public personas. Even talk show host Wendy Williams joined the conversation, siding with Carey and offering her own critique of Cyrus's comments. On her show, Williams said, "Miley, it is about you. We all know that Mariah could sing you under the table. To me, Mariah is the real deal, and Miley is a carnival act." The jabs didn't go unnoticed, and fans eagerly speculated about how Carey might respond. When Andy Cohen asked Carey about Cyrus on Watch What Happens Live, she waved off the situation with characteristic nonchalance. "I think we met in a bathroom or something," Carey said with a casual shrug, effectively dismissing the former Disney star's remarks and reinforcing her image as untouchable in the realm of vocal talent and star power. Demi Lovato. Outspoken and unapologetically confident, Demi Lovato has never been shy about sharing her opinions, even when it comes to the notoriously private Mariah Carey. In June 2016, the singer stirred the pot when a fan posted a meme on social media featuring Carey alongside Ariana Grande. The image read, "When you order it online versus when it arrives," clearly implying a humorous comparison between the two pop icons. Lovato, never one to hold back, jumped into the conversation, offering a sharp, candid take that quickly caught attention. Commenting via page 6, she wrote, "You got it the wrong way around, honey." She then went further, dissecting what she perceived as Carey's treatment of others. "Mariah is a legend and so talented but constantly disses people," Lovato continued. "It's nasty the way she treats Jennifer. Ari did nothing wrong. Jen keeps it classy, but I'm afraid to say sat. The woman is mean for no reason. Extremely talented? Yes. Superhuman? Possibly. Unnecessarily rude? Absolutely." The comment was classic Demi, direct, fearless, and unfiltered. While fans praised Lovato's courage, Carey herself did not take the jab lightly. Known for guarding her image fiercely and expecting respect in professional and personal interactions, Carey waited several months before addressing the situation publicly. In December 2016, she responded during an appearance on Watch What Happens Live, maintaining her poised but pointed approach. "I don't know her either, and so I wouldn't say anything to her," Carey began, making it clear she had not personally invited any critique. "She should come up, introduce herself to me, say, 'Here's my opinion, what do you think about it?' That's how you handle sod, okay?" Her reply struck a balance between civility and subtle admonition, underscoring that while she might be gracious publicly, she expected proper etiquette when it came to criticism. The brief but heated exchange highlighted a clash of personalities as much as it did differing perspectives on celebrity behavior. Lovato, known for her advocacy of honesty and transparency, was unafraid to call out what she saw as inappropriate conduct, while Carey, the seasoned diva, demonstrated her expectation for deference and formal interaction. Fans on both sides dissected every word, turning a single social media comment into a discussion about fame, respect, and the fine line between legendary talent and legendary ego. In the end, it was a textbook collision of two strong-willed stars, each confident in their own worldview, with Lovato championing blunt honesty and Carey asserting her boundaries with quiet authority. Josh Groban. Jenny McCarthy wasn't the only celebrity who voiced frustration over Mariah Carey's chaotic New Year's Rockin' Eve performance. Singer Josh Groban briefly entered the fray, taking to Twitter to comment on what many saw as a lip-synced and uneven delivery. In a tweet that quickly went viral, Groban quipped, "Anytime one of the greatest voices of my generation lip-syncs, an angel loses its wings." The remark, dripping with tongue-in-cheek sarcasm, immediately drew attention from fans and media outlets alike, igniting a flurry of online debate over Carey's professionalism and her ability to deliver live under pressure. However, Groban soon realized that his joke hadn't landed as he intended. Within hours, he deleted the tweet, clarifying his intentions in a follow-up message. "Deleted my tweets about a certain performance because it was made in humor, but taken way more meanly than intended. Not out to diss artists," he explained, attempting to diffuse any tension and remind his followers that his comment was meant in jest rather than as a personal attack. This backtracking highlighted the precarious nature of social media commentary, especially when discussing high-profile artists like Carey, whose career has been built on being one of the most celebrated vocalists of her generation. Groban's fleeting critique, though brief, echoed the sentiments of many who were shocked or disappointed by the performance, which became fodder for discussion across entertainment news platforms. His tweet also underscored how even a comment framed as humor can be misconstrued in the digital age, sparking larger conversations about accountability, celebrity culture, and the pressures of live televised events. Fans, critics, and fellow entertainers alike weighed in on Carey's performance, dissecting everything from vocal execution to stage presence and preparation. Jenny McCarthy. On her Sirius XM radio show, Jenny McCarthy, 44, didn't hold back when discussing Mariah Carey's infamous New Year's Rockin' Eve performance, a spectacle that many viewers deemed disastrous. Initially, McCarthy appeared to offer some sympathy for Carey, acknowledging the pressures of performing live on one of television's most high-profile stages. However, she quickly shifted gears, coming to the defense of Dick Clark Productions after Carey's manager, Stella Bulokhnikoff, publicly accused the production company of sabotage. "Now, I do understand our egos, of course, want to blame everyone but ourselves for mistakes, but I literally had a visceral reaction to her saying that Dick Clark Productions did this on purpose and for ratings," McCarthy exclaimed, her frustration palpable. Having co-hosted New Year's Rockin' Eve for 7 years, McCarthy stressed that the show's production team has decades of experience. Dick Clark Productions has been doing this show for 45 years. So for Mariah to defame them was so incredibly insulting for the group of people who worked their balls off preparing and rehearsing for their musical guests, she added. McCarthy didn't hold back when recounting her version of the rehearsal process either. "The truth of the matter is, Mariah didn't do a sound check. She said it there," McCarthy claimed. She suggested Carey might have struggled with reading the prompter for her lyrics and noted that Carey's rehearsal consisted more of choreography than a proper vocal check. "She did whatever you would call like a dance move rehearsal, holding her gold microphone, and she stood off to the side of the stage while she had a stand-in do a sound check," McCarthy explained. It's worth noting that some sources dispute McCarthy's account, and Carey was photographed rehearsing for the show. McCarthy also highlighted the unique challenges of performing live in Times Square. "Now, when you're doing a show live in Times Square, this is a location that's tough," she said. "Out of all the places that you're going to need to do a sound check, you do it there. I think Mariah was nervous as hell. I think she chose really tough songs to try to sing along with. I think Emotions, that song, I mean, her voice is not there anymore. I don't believe there was a problem with her inner ears. I just don't. I think she used it as an excuse. Despite McCarthy's detailed account, Carey has yet to publicly respond to these claims, leaving fans to speculate about what really went wrong behind the scenes of one of the year's most anticipated televised performances. Madonna. Back in the 1990s, Madonna, ever the provocateur and unapologetic queen of controversy, reportedly threw shade at Mariah Carey in some of her typically blunt, eyebrow-raising fashion. In interviews from the era, the Material Girl allegedly described Carey as not particularly bright, a remark that would have stung anyone but was especially striking coming from one of pop music's most iconic figures. Madonna reportedly went further, saying that she would rather kill herself than be the singer behind the massive hit One Sweet Day, Carey's record-breaking duet with Boys One Eye Men. The comment encapsulated the diva-driven tension that often ripples through the upper echelons of pop royalty, a collision of personalities, egos, and artistic philosophies. While Madonna's words might have been intended to shock and entertain, her public persona was built on challenging norms and provoking reactions. Carey responded in a way that would become emblematic of her cool, measured shade. Rather than escalating the feud or engaging in tit-for-tat drama, Carey addressed the remarks with a dismissive but pointed elegance. She told reporters, "I haven't really paid that much attention to Madonna since I was in 7th or 8th grade when she used to be popular, so I didn't hear that." Her response, delivered with a calm, almost amused detachment, was classic Mariah, acknowledging the comment without validating its sting, simultaneously preserving her own dignity while subtly undermining Madonna's attempt at provocation. This brief but telling exchange highlighted the distinct personas of the two superstars. Madonna, the fearless provocateur, thrived on disruption and controversy, often making headlines as much for her statements as her music. Carey, on the other hand, cultivated an image of untouchable talent and composure, letting her extraordinary vocal prowess speak louder than petty insults. By responding with understated wit and a hint of nostalgia, Carey reframed the narrative. She wasn't going to be dragged into a public spat over a fleeting remark. The incident also underscores the generational and stylistic divide between pop icons. Madonna's brash, confrontational energy often collided with Carey's poised, diva-level confidence. While some fans may have expected a fiery rebuttal from Carey, she demonstrated that true star power often lies in the ability to remain unbothered, allowing one's artistry and legacy to overshadow transient commentary. What do you think about celebrities who don't like Mariah Carey? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.